I didn't lose my marriage to a stranger. I lost it to my stepsister. And it didn't start in a bedroom, it started with silence. I didn't lose my marriage to a stranger. I lost it to my stepsister. That's the part nobody believes when I say it out loud. I can see it in their faces. The quick blink, the polite nod, the quiet little calculation behind their eyes. Some think I'm lying to make myself sound more tragic. Some think I'm leaving out details that would make it less awful. But I'm not. The ugliest part of the story is that it's true. And it started so small I almost missed the moment my life tipped over the edge. The day I signed the divorce papers, the pen shook in my hand. Not because I didn't want to sign, but because I couldn't stop seeing the first night she stayed with us. If you hit rewind on my life and press pause at that exact moment, you'd see it. Me, my wife Emily, and my stepsister Lily, all smiling in our little kitchen like we were a normal family. I remember the weather. Late September, that kind of evening where the air smells like dry leaves and someone's grilling a few houses down. Emily had music on low, some old country song drifting in from the living room. She was happy that night, moving around the stove in one of my oversized shirts, talking about how it'll be fun having Lily here for a while. Lily had just moved to town for a new job. My dad's second wife's daughter, technically family, but we'd only ever seen each other on holidays. Growing up, she was just the girl at the opposite end of the table, stabbing at her mashed potatoes while everyone else argued over football. But that night, she walked into our house dragging 2 suitcases and looking like life had knocked her around a little. Tired eyes, forced smile. She hugged Emily first, then turned to me. "Hey, big brother," she said, teasing. "Thanks for letting me crash here." Big brother. That's what she called me. If you freeze it there, it still looks innocent. I wish I could go back and study every second of that evening. The way Emily took her hand and showed her the guest room. The way Lily's fingers brushed mine when I grabbed one of her bags. The way she laughed at a joke I don't even remember making. Too loud. Like she needed it. Nothing happened that night. No lines crossed. No secrets. We had dinner, we talked, we toasted to new beginnings with cheap wine. But when everyone went to bed and the house fell quiet, I lay awake staring at the ceiling, feeling something I didn't have a name for yet. I didn't know it then, but that was the first crack. Not the moment it all broke, just the soft, almost unnoticeable sound of a hairline fracture deep inside the life I thought was unshakable. If I'd listened closer, maybe I would have heard it. If I'm honest, the second crack came disguised as a good deed. Emily worked nights at the hospital that month. Short-staffed, double shifts, the whole thing. She'd drag herself through the door in the morning, drop her bag, kiss me on the cheek, and go straight to bed. I kept telling her, "You can quit, Well, figure it out." She'd just smile that tired smile and say, "We're okay. It's just a season." So most evenings it was just me and Lily. She settled into our house faster than I expected. Her mug in the cabinet, her shoes by the door, her laugh drifting down the hallway when she was on the phone with friends from back home. She'd sit cross-legged on the couch in one of Emily's hoodies, talking about her new job, how lonely it felt in a new city, how grateful she was to have family around. That word kept hanging in the air. Family. One rainy Tuesday, the kind of gray day that just sits on your shoulders. Lily came home looking wrecked. Her eyes were red, not from the weather. She tossed her keys onto the counter and just stood there, fingers pressed into her temples like her head hurt. "You okay?" I asked. She laughed without any humor. "They cut my hours." Said they overestimated staffing needs. She did the air quotes. "My rent, my car, I don't even know how I'm supposed to." She trailed off and swallowed hard, like she didn't want to cry in front of me. I told her to sit. I made coffee. It felt like the decent older brother thing to do. She sat at the table, shoulders slumped, tracing circles on the wood with her fingertip. "Hey," I said, sliding the mug toward her. "You're not alone in this. Okay? We've got you." She stared at me for a long second. "You and Emily already do too much. I'm basically living here for free. So pay us when you get back on your feet." I shrugged. "We're not going to kick you out because some manager can't read a spreadsheet." She smiled then, small and genuine. You always do that, she said. Do what? Make it sound like everything's gonna be okay. I didn't think much of it at the time. We talked for another hour. About work. About my dad. About how weird it was that our parents had married late in life and then just disconnected us again after the divorce. There was this strange comfort in finally closing that gap, like we were making up for all the years we'd barely been in each other's lives. When Emily got home that night, she walked in on us laughing at something dumb on TV. Lily's feet were tucked under her, my arms stretched along the back of the couch. Nothing inappropriate. No touching. Just clothes. Emily stopped in the doorway, still in her scrubs, damp from the rain. You two look cozy, she said, smiling, but there was something tight around her eyes. Lily had a rough day, I explained. We were just unwinding. Emily nodded, dropped a kiss on my forehead, squeezed Lily's shoulder as she passed. It was all normal on the surface, harmless. But later, after everyone was in bed, my phone buzzed on the nightstand. Emily, half asleep beside me, didn't stir. It was Lily. Thank you for earlier. I don't know what I'd do without you. I stared at the message longer than I should have. It was simple, grateful, nothing that crossed any clear line. I typed back, we're family. That's what we're here for. I almost hit send. Then I deleted we're family and just wrote, anytime. I didn't know it then, but that single word was the first time I answered her as something other than her brother. If you want to know the exact moment I should have stopped everything, it was the night I started lying to Emily about nothing. At least that's what I told myself it was. Nothing. After that anytime text, things shifted. Not in some dramatic movie scene way. More like someone quietly changing the radio station while you're not looking. Same room, same people, different song playing underneath. Lily started texting more. How's your day? Your team lost again, lol. Do you think I made a mistake moving here? None of it looked dangerous if you just glanced. But it was the frequency, the timing, the way my phone lit up at 11:47 p.m. while Emily slept beside me, and I'd turn it over, pretending I didn't see it until morning. One Friday, Emily finally had a night off. We'd planned a simple date night. Take out a movie, maybe fall asleep halfway through like we were getting old. I'd been looking forward to it all week. Then my phone buzzed while I was grabbing plates from the cabinet. Lily. Hey, can you talk? It's dumb, but I'm freaking out. I stared at the screen. Emily was in the living room, folding blankets, humming under her breath. There was a tightness in my chest I didn't want to look at too closely. I typed, everything okay? She replied instantly, just had a bad call with mom. Can't stop crying. I know you're busy, ignore me. Sorry. I could have shown Emily. Could have said, hey, Lily's having a rough time. Mind if I go check on her? That would have been honest. Instead, I slipped the phone into my pocket and said, I'm gonna grab something from the car real quick. Emily didn't even look up. Okay, don't forget the food, I'm starving. I walked past the living room, past the front door, and straight down the hall to Lily's room. Her door was cracked. I knocked anyway. Yeah. Her voice was small. I pushed the door open and saw her sitting on the floor by the bed, knees pulled to her chest, eyes red. There were tissues scattered around like white flags. Hey, I said quietly, closing the door behind me. That right there, that soft click, was the sound of another line disappearing. She tried to laugh it off. Wow, that was fast. Didn't mean to drag you away from your night. It's fine, I said. What happened? She told me. About her mom blaming her for the move, calling her ungrateful, saying she always runs away when things get hard. Old wounds. Reopened. I listened. I sat on the edge of the bed while she talked in circles, picking at the hem of her sleeve. At some point, she shifted closer. Our shoulders almost touched. You're the only one who doesn't make me feel like a screw-up, she said, voice barely above a whisper. I should have stood up. I should have made some dumb joke, broken the moment, walked out and gone back to my wife and our waiting food and our normal life. Instead, I said, you're not a screw-up, Lily. You're just lost. Everyone gets lost sometimes. Her eyes met mine then, wet and shining in the dim light. "Do you ever feel lost?" she asked. And the terrible truth, the one ID never said out loud to anyone, slipped out before I could stop it. "Lately," I said, "it feels like that's all I am." Her hand found mine. That's all it was. Just fingers curling around fingers. No fireworks. No dramatic music. Just two people holding on to something they shouldn't have reached for in the first place. Down the hall, I heard the muffled sound of the TV starting. Emily waiting. I didn't move. That was the first time I chose Lily over her. My wife's first clue wasn't a message on my phone. It was a laugh. Not the sound itself, but the way it stopped. A few weeks after that night in Lily's room, everything on the surface looked the same. Work, dishes, laundry, bills. Lily still lived down the hall. Emily still worked nights. I still kissed my wife goodbye at the door and watched her drive off in the dark. But underneath, the ground had shifted. That hand-holding moment, we never talked about it. We pretended it hadn't happened, the way you pretend you didn't see something you weren't supposed to. But it changed everything. Every conversation, every look had a shadow now. Started small. I'd bring Lily coffee in the mornings since I was making some anyway. She'd wait up for me if Emily was on the night shift so you don't eat alone. We'd sit too close on the couch and then scoot apart if we heard Emily's keys in the front door. One Tuesday, Emily actually had a rare evening off. I came home to find her and Lily in the kitchen, music playing, both of them laughing as they tried to flip pancakes without destroying them. I paused in the doorway. Lily saw me first. Her smile faltered, just for a heartbeat, before she forced it back into place. Emily turned, face glowing. "Look who finally got a night off too," she said, waving the spatula at me. "We're having breakfast for dinner. Doctor's orders." She jabbed a thumb at herself. I kissed her cheek, hugged her from behind. For a second, it almost felt like before. Lily watching us with a small smile, like she was happy to see we were solid. But then my hand brushed Lily's as we passed plates around, and that familiar jolt shot up my arm. We both pulled back like we'd touched a hot stove. Emily didn't see it. Not that night. The night everything cracked open. It was raining. Emily had picked up an extra shift last minute, and I'd driven her in because her car was making a weird noise. When I got home, the house felt too quiet. Lily was in the living room, knees tucked under her, staring at the TV without really watching it. Some old sitcom laughed for her. "You okay?" I asked. She muted it. "I hate when she works nights," she said softly. "You two feel like I don't know. The only stable thing in my life. When she's gone, it's like the whole house tilts." "Yeah," I said. "I know the feeling. Maybe it was the rain. Maybe it was the way the lamp light caught the tired in her eyes. Maybe it was just the weight of all the almosts between us. We didn't plan it. One minute, we were sitting on opposite ends of the couch. The next, we were in the middle so close our knees touched. She said my name like a question. I said hers like an answer. And then we crossed the line. I'm not going to dress it up or lay it out detail by detail. It's enough to say I made a choice I can't ever take back. I betrayed my wife in the house she loved, under the roof we'd picked together, on the couch where we'd once fallen asleep watching our favorite show. Afterward, the rain sounded louder. Lily sat there, wrapped in a blanket, staring at nothing. "What did we just do?" she whispered. I didn't have an answer. My heart was pounding, not with excitement, but with a thick, sick dread. That was when my phone buzzed on the coffee table. "Emily, I miss you. It's crazy here tonight. Save me some of whatever you guys are eating." Lily saw the screen, covered her mouth. "We can't," she said. "We can't ever let her know." I typed back with fingers that didn't feel like mine. "Always, I love you. Be safe." When Emily came home the next morning, she walked into the kitchen while I was making coffee. Lily was already there, hair still messy, eyes a little too bright. Emily stopped in the doorway and looked at us both. Really looked. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. "What happened here last night?" she asked. And for the first time in our marriage, I had no idea which lie to reach for. I picked a lie that night. It wasn't even a good one. Nothing happened, I said, forcing a laugh. We watched TV, argued about pizza toppings, went to bed. Why? Emily's eyes moved from my face to Lily's and back again. Lily was gripping her coffee mug so tight her knuckles had gone white. No reason, Emily said finally. You just look weird. Both of you. She kissed my cheek, like she always did. But instead of warmth, I felt her lips pause against my skin, just for half a second, like she was listening for something underneath. That was the last normal morning we ever had. The thing about betrayal is you think it's one big decision. One moment. Reality is, it's 1,000 tiny choices stacked on top of each other until the weight finally snaps the beam. For us, the beam broke 2 weeks later. It was a Saturday. Emily had the whole weekend off. She announced it like good news, like a surprise party. No hospital, no calls. Just us. We need this. I smiled. Said all the right things. Inside, I felt like a man trying to patch a sinking boat with his bare hands. We planned to go to the farmer's market that morning. Emily went out to the car first while I hunted for my wallet. I checked the nightstand drawer, the kitchen counter, the jacket ID worn last night. Finally, I grabbed my phone to use the Find My Wallet tracker Emily had once joked was for when you get old and forgetful. The app opened. Only it wasn't the wallet app. It was our home security app. I don't even know how I clicked it. Muscle memory, maybe. That little icon with the blue house. A screen popped up. Living room cam playback. ID forgotten we even had it. We'd installed it when we used to foster dogs, just to check on them when we were out. After a while, it just became another app on page 3. The screen showed a timeline bar. Last accessed. Emily 6:12 a.m. My blood ran cold. I hit play. There we were. Me and Lily. On the couch. The rain. The blanket. No sound, just grainy moving images, but you didn't need audio to understand what was happening. My hand shaking, I backed out of the app so fast I almost dropped the phone. Emily had already seen it. I walked outside like I was stepping onto a different planet. She was in the driver's seat, hands on the wheel, staring straight ahead. The engine wasn't on. I said quietly, we need to talk. She didn't look at me. How long? She asked. There was no point pretending now. A few weeks, I said. My voice sounded like someone else's. She nodded slowly, eyes still forward. With her, she said. Not a question. My husband and my stepsister. I opened my mouth. No words came out. She laughed then, a short, broken sound. You know what's funny? I kept telling people how proud I was. That we let family stay with us. That we were the kind of couple who helped people get back on their feet. She finally turned to face me, and I wish she hadn't. I would have taken screaming, throwing things, anything but that quiet, wrecked look. I watched the whole thing, she said. I thought, no, that's not him. He wouldn't do that. Not there. Not in our house. My legs felt weak. I leaned against the open door. Emily, she cut in. Don't say you're sorry yet. I'm not ready to hear it. Answer my questions instead. So I did. Yes, it only happened here. No, there wasn't anyone else. Yes, I had feelings I didn't admit. No, I didn't stop it when I should have. Every answer took something out of her. You could almost see it. Pieces of the life we'd built dropping away like loose bricks. What about her? She asked finally. Is she in love with you? Are you in love with her? I thought about the first night Lily arrived. The coffee, the texts, the crying, the desperate way we'd both grabbed onto something we had no right to hold. I don't know what to call it, I said. And that was the most honest thing ID said all day. Emily shook her head. You don't cheat on your spouse with someone you don't know. You pick them. Every time. Over and over. She wiped her face with the heel of her hand. I thought we were a team, she whispered. We were, I said. We are. No, she said softly. We were. Past tense. The marriage didn't end that second. On paper, it took months. Lawyers. Mediation. Boxes. Addresses changing on bank statements and insurance forms. But in my head, it ended in that driveway in the quiet after her verdict. I can't stay married to you, she said. Not after this. Not with her face at every Thanksgiving in my memory. Every time I look at you, I see both of you, and I don't know who I'm married to anymore. Lily moved out that same week. No big scene. No dramatic goodbye. Just a note on the counter. I'm so sorry. They'll carry this for the rest of my life. Truth is, we all will. People always ask, in one way or another, was it worth it? They don't say the words out loud, but it's there in the way they tilt their head. Was the thrill, the closeness, the escape worth the crater it left? No, not even close. If there's any point to telling this, it's this. Affairs don't start in bedrooms. They start in the small places, in late-night texts, in anytime messages, in secrets that feel harmless because no one's crying yet. They start when you stop bringing your loneliness to the person you promised your life to and start handing it to someone else instead. I lost my marriage to my stepsister, but before that, I lost it to my own silence.